look that up for Bud? Yeah. All his mad ideas.
It's like the mad scientist of the panel.
I got a couple of ideas I would like to implement, but not allowed to talk about that here.
You've already got some catch thanks to the swap of the Vengeful Spirit and then the Tiny. You probably still want another hero that just gives you like good burst damage versus the Weaver and strong initiation.
Yeah. Interesting, the Venge will be most likely a 4 position too.
Yeah. Unless they run a core, Silence is one of the only players that actually ran it as core successfully before. Of course, they go into the Phoenix, one of the position 4s we spoke about.
You don't like it versus Silencer, but you really like it versus Tiny, right? A hero that already has slow attack speed and then also is high HP, so your Sunray is very effective against him.
Yep, very good.
Specs see something that can kill the egg here, or at least be like a decent...
Well, we've seen Troll, we've seen Lina. Those are probably the two best.
5 seconds remaining.
Mind Ursa, of course.
You know, it's kind of crazy. I would love it if they actually made Vengeful Spirit core and they got like a different 4 position team fighter, like Wyvern. Like
I would really like that too.
Because I feel like there's just something that's going to be lacking between these two supports. Vengeful Spirit Silencer just like isn't quite enough for me.
VGJ Storms.
That's where they go for Troll, yeah.
That'll be the answer to the egg.
Troll is quite good against Drow too. If you get up to like 2-3 items, you get like a Blink Dagger, BKB, you get a jump on him, and he can't really do anything about you. He can't man-fight you. He can't really run away because you slow him. And right now, what's really good, none of the heroes can actually man-fight a Troll. If that's the case, then Troll is gonna be the king on the map eventually, and that's where he really wants to be.
5 seconds.
He's also got some underrated synergy with the Tiny, the ulti. Like helps Tiny out a lot with the extra attack speed.
I mean, just Troll in general, right? Even the support Silencer right now, if Troll ults, he can solo kill that egg. Like just the hard counter that everybody always speaks about.
DK was again banned by Winstrike in that second phase whenever the Drow Ranger lineup comes up. Furion, which would give Winstrike really good split pushing opportunities, and it's a pretty good laner as well.
10 seconds remaining.
What? Are they gonna put the Tiny off lane?
5 seconds remaining.
Or mid? Probably mid.
I think they'll give Nongrata a more playmaking hero.
What about Clockwork? He likes that. It's good against Drow.
I'm not quite feeling it. For me, it's just like not quite good enough against Weaver, against Phoenix.
It's not terribly good.
Even the lane Clock Venge just doesn't sound like there's great synergy or anything. Profit would be great because then you have the wave. So this 4 position Venge is often just spamming the second spell, the Wave of Terror, and then the Nature's Prophet right click. Very powerful. So like a Wind Ranger does something similar, but that's also not really a great 3 position.
Well, it could work. Wind Ranger can occasionally just like go off and carry a game by herself.
All right, Cap, you're a big Pango player. This feels like a Pango spot. Can he play it? Maybe not against the Drow Silence? I don't know.
It's always hard against those Drow Ranger lineups, right? Because they put so much pressure on you just because of your poor stats. You need a really strong support with you, and you don't have that from Winstrike, right? Like you don't actually have that strong lane winner against the Drow lineup anyway. You have like Wyvern or something that maybe it would work.
Grata. MVP on the Clockwork.
VGJ
This game is going to be MVP on
Centaur instead.
Ooh, really good against Drow Ranger too. And Pete.
Yeah, it gives you both like the gap close as well as the retreating power when the supernova goes off, and it's not a fight you can actually win. Then you can reset off of the stand.
And kick go Crimson Guard first this game because he has a Tiny to toss him on the enemy, if you want to do that. Because Crimson Guard really counters Drow lineups if they want to go that route.
And again, VGJ Storm, so many options because of the fact that they can move this Weaver and Drow Ranger wherever they want.
Their lanes are completely open right now. Could be carry Weaver, could even be mid Weaver, has been seen a lot. Offlane Weaver.
The one problem I see is Winstrike still do not have any lane shove, and so they have to be able to outfight VGJ Storm early, which is unlikely because VGJ Storm's probably going to be winning the lanes here with their setup, and they're going to go into this sort of like 5-man push. Like that's why VGJ Storm was afraid of the Furion, right? And Winstrike, again, do not have any of those answers out of all 5 of those heroes.
Storm themselves also aren't really looking to push lanes. Like look at their heroes. They had that problem. Unless they fix that here. Venom.
Okay. 3 melee cores.
Oh, the Venom mid likely against the Tiny.
Yeah. The counter on lane, of course, but they're not too afraid of him because they have Stampede. Like the slow doesn't really affect them, so they can still get on top of them quite effectively.
Okay, thank you, boys. Let's quickly, before we get into the game, catch up with someone very important actually on the VGJ Storm side of the management stuff. Jack is with Casey.
Hello, Jack. So I think people might be a little surprised to see you out here.
Yeah, me too. It's kind of something we just decided on last night. So just a spur of the moment thing. I mean, sometimes what you need more than strategic guidance is maybe a boost of morale. So that's why we went with this.
So how is the morale in the booth just now, and how does that compare to how it was in game one?
Pretty good, nice and loose. You know, for a couple of months we kind of toiled together in a basement in Brooklyn, and this is going right back to that in some way.
How do you feel your draft went?
Pretty good, pretty good. I think we got most of what we wanted. Maybe we have a hard time starting fights a little bit, but every draft has its strengths and weaknesses. I think we're in good shape.
Looking forward to watching it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Coach Jack, everybody.
Very good indeed, yes. Jack and his team ready for game number 2. I tell you, the 2 other gents are ready for game number 2. It is Lyrical and Trent Pax, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Paul and Trent. I've played a lot of games with Jack. I don't know if he gave me the mental strength I needed, but his team certainly was able to field in that last one. It was a stomp. It was amazing. They did a hell of a job.
Yeah, we kicked him off the panels, but he found a way onto this main stage. It's like, I guess you guys just don't get a coach today.
When they took down VGJ Storm. So we'll see if it's going to be a similar outcome to what we saw last time. The big difference is in this game, there's a Centaur.
Yeah, some maybe not the most common global synergy that you think of, but you look at this, I mean, we got global silence, we got ourselves the global stampede, we got ourselves the battle trance. So no matter where you are on the map, maybe one of your allies can help you out, try and take down that egg, or we saw the bans on the Nature's Prophet, on the Lycan, and on the Spectre. 3 heroes that can magically appear right next to your draft, seemingly out of nowhere. So ban out all of those, and we're just going to have to use the Stampede to try and bring our entire team on top of her. That definitely seemed to be a pretty big problem for them in the previous match, Rezo just having free reign in those fights because of the space provided from snaking.
We're going to see if they're going to be able to make that extra bit of... This time around, it looks like he does not have the mid build. Instead, it's going to be Duar playing that on the Venomancer. Very solid pickup there. Another one of those heroes that's so hard to deal with. I mean, the panel talked about a good answer later on being the Stampede, but in the laning stage, this could potentially be an issue for the mid-tiny, as already the Gale thrown out onto No Fear, and look at the damage already early and often. VGJ, the deny! Nograta punishes the Greek.
No first blood quite yet, but they will scare themselves a little bit. So great play from Non-Grata, but good pressure going in there. No Fear. What? Really not going to tip Non-Grata? What is that?
I don't know. Apparently they're feeling good about silence.
They're trying to motivate him. They're like, I know last game, that Lycan, it was a bit tough, but this one's for you. So we'll see if the Troll Warlord goes a little bit better for him. His lane already looks pretty irritating with that Phoenix and the Wyvern, but in terms of irritating lanes, Venomancer's got to be the top of that list.
Absolutely, and they are going to move in already from the get-go. Iceberg able to secure that one in spite of the glyph that came out. It's going to be taking the punches early and often. Top lane snaking, always want to fly again on that silencer. Last game it was really tough for him. Do you think that this lane is any easier?
No, there's a lot of mobility from a Phoenix. You can get around top of that silencer. Any misstep, slight out of position for him, and a Weaver's there, plenty of damage, and a Troll, not a whole lot he can do to help. He can try and get the blind over, maybe that'll be it, but I'm expecting deaths in double digits once more if this game starts to look a little bit scary for Winstrike.
See up there in the top lane, snaking, just falling, very low HP. Pressure coming from the dual melee there, as SVG also taking a beating, and they're trying to pressure in here. Grata. Big buff that he's been continually receiving is just so much strength on this hero. 807 at the early level 1, now up to level 2, and no stat items either.
Yeah, but likewise for VGJ Storm, they got the big beefy boy, the Ogre Magi. And SVG, if your HP's a little bit low, you're trying to tag it up with the team, but...
he's gonna go down. Non-Grata finds the kill. Big plays so far out of the offlaner.
Not the way you want to be tanking there.
And I think that, you know, a lot of times early on when you see that Centaur, you don't anticipate like an early point in return, but he's going all out aggressive. This is something they're going to have to be pretty well prepared for. Magical damage early, even though that Ogre has impressive 8 armor. And here we're going to take another look again at Nangrata, just waiting for his timing, and a little bit too late with the right click from Rezo.
Seemed like they were trying to sync it up there just in case. No, there's the appreciating. Yep, got him.
He gave a little wave to Resolution on the other side. That's nice. Can appreciate that.
Oh, MSS with the tricky creep pull up top there. No support to deal with it without the Bane. Sounds can't do much, but on the bottom lane, you can see here plenty of damage in an Nangrata. Wants the revenge.
The Fire Blast as well. The punch is coming through, and they're going to find him. SVG also with an early aggressive build, and Resolution taking 2 Frost Arrows.
Denied.
And looks like SVG also going to be here to stack that camp too, so give them some options in terms of pulls, as well as some extra gold and experience there in the lane.
You were wondering where the creep wave is. It's back here behind the tower. This is one of the things that we anticipated starting to happen more and more often nowadays, but doing the right thing, Silent going to also be able to pull his creep wave back behind the tower, and we'll be able to deny out a wave.
Yeah, works out to be a decent option. It's still not going to land in the best spot overall here, it doesn't look like, for Winstrike, but MSS trying to play around with this camp here, and you can see Always Want Fire is going to deny it by just pulling it so that they can't get that lane.
Now No Fear trying to run away from it. Throw out the wave of terror onto the creeps. SVG still chasing. Do some damage here to No Fear as the chase right out of the lane.
Yeah, you can see there with the vision though, just how well he's playing around those trees. Impossible to keep up with them. Meanwhile in the mid lane, it's a bit of an edge here for our Tiny, about half a level now. 22 and 5 versus just the 13 last hits, but that is kind of what you'd expect in that matchup. Tiny, if there's no rotations, you can play relatively safe. It's kind of like a slow whittle down early on from the Venomancer. But once those levels start to occur for the Veno, it goes dangerous both ways. He has to play cautiously from that instant burst potential from the Tiny, but Tiny has to respect that ultimate combo.
Lots of kill potential there for sure. Obviously one overstep and it could curtains. Nangrata gonna walk forward, make a little bit of space for No Fear. SVG just still being a big bruise and Ogre. You have the hoof stomp after the fact. They have the double edge, lots of damage into the Ogre. They're gonna throw back the Fire Blast. Resolution taking some damage from this return as well. Looks like VGJ Storm gonna walk away for the moment. No Fear did have a magic missile back up, but
Rezo, very nice dodge there. Pops over to the eastern side of the tree line, knowing that when he wants to that salve, No Fear was going to try and cancel with the Wave of Terror, but he won't find it.
So far, so good for Winstrike. Like, look at the laning stage. They're up double digits in terms of CS.
1K net worth gold lead to boot. So we get the stack. Small camp there, so a little bit of opportunities for pulls, and 3 out of the 4 bounty runs.
War here going for a very aggressive build on this Venomancer, hoping to make up for the fact that he does not have the edge in CS. 3 points in Gale early, and Iceberg, as you can see, just taking a lot of damage from this. Does still have the bottle, but end up heading over to the shrine and heal back up.
Well, I needed about 1 more tick there, but he did the math.
While Silent slows down Snaking. He doesn't have Scoochie.
MSS is level 2. He's in trouble. Oh, that avalanche.
Iceberg with the rotation, almost able to find him. He's going to drop an egg behind. Yeah, 1-1, relatively slow start to this game. The 1,000 gold lead, just about 6 minutes in.
I think one advantage they have for themselves too for Winstrike is that they should be the ones with the first rotations. They can use the global stampede just to help them out in any of these lanes. They see some slight edge, or maybe they're in a bit of trouble from a push. They can instantly escape or advance on their opponent. Whereas the Radiant, it's a lot more relaxed. Kind of a slower build up for that Weaver. Always Want to Fly though. There's that little bit of a out of position here and dodges the bugs. Maybe it'll be enough.
There's going to be the dive forward.
I don't know.
Dealing the damage. Fire Spirit's out as well. He's taking the deeps. It is going to fall. The last tick there as well as MSS is going to be punished for the green, and that one hurts. He used the TP mid lane. They also found themselves the Venomancer. You are. He's going to pop the Fairy Fire, runs away, drops the Plague Ward as well. They're chasing this guy down. Are they going to be able to kill him? He can pick up a tree in a second and throw up with the magic missiles there, and No Fear secures.
Iceberg just instantly wants to get home, get his treads, bottle on up here, and get right back to pressure. And we'll give a little bit of space to No Fear.
So talk to me a little bit about Centaur. too, because this is a hero we haven't seen all that often nowadays. Going for this Vanguard first build, what do you think really attracted them to this pick in this game?
I think it's a bit difficult to like play super aggressive in a lane with an Ogre Magi, unless they're really weak. Overall, you're kind of like a better bully, like to protect yourself, you know? I don't think they have a lot of good opportunities to just run at this Centaur, because there's, as you've seen, plenty of damage output where he can just return that instantaneously with a double edge. So they saw a lane where you can survive, which has been the major concern for the Centaur. Paired him up with somebody just to help it out in the Venge, and now Venge is rotating around here trying to get some levels, and that's when we want that global silent, or global stampede.
So that's just going to run away there. The dive, you mentioned his levels. It's been a tough time so far for this Phoenix. Only level 3 right now, the lowest in the game. Silent going to make his way up towards the top. Start putting the hurt in snaking here. Does have level 6, but has not opted to take the battle trance yet.
And a wave cut down bottom from Non-Grata, trying to get himself into level 6.
Top lane.
Wow.
Okay, they just got the kill onto Snaking.
Looked like he was going to be safe there. I thought he would just retreat, but went back in, it seems. And they try and fight for the rune up top, but it won't be there.
And you are running away. They pop the Stampede just to get Iceberg out of trouble. So many slows.
But also close in with no fear.
And they get into position, throws out the Wave of Terror, the Magic Missile. There's going to be the punch. They're able to find one kill and a second. No, neutral creep. And Iceberg also, they're diving for it.
They might just get a double kill.
The other side fight. The neutral deny again. What in God's name?
It's those Prowler Shamans, man.
I mean, with the deny and everything else that's going on in this game, we need to have heroes actually kill heroes. A huge win for VGJ Storm when all is said and done.
Yeah, and who's left all alone in the bottom lane? It's Rezo on the Drow Ranger. Up into level 7 now. A couple points in Frost Arrows just for safety's sake, and then he's going to start building that Precision Aura. And you look at Snaking, like this just seems like a great game for a Weaver. Non-Grad didn't have that same help, but it should be easier to get to the early aggression. And so they want to punish this and see if they can find something on the Drow.
Oh, Stampede.
They have that ward, spawning out the fact that MS is there. He might be sacrificed.
Non-Grata, I mean, they're going for the long wraparound.
This classic counter to the Phoenix.
Oh, Resolution being chased. They are going to see MSS, but it doesn't look like they're getting either. In the meantime, Silent just running away to the side.
MSS is spotted here.
Yeah, they spot him out. There's going to be the kill. So eventually, they do get the punishment. The first in the hands of Always Want to Fly. And top lane, Silent also ran at. Has the bugs on him, has the ignite there as well. They're trying to kill off the bug. The Magic Missile to turn. Silent takes the kill.
Troll Warlord players, they know sometimes you just got to go for it. You know, understand the fact that your only chance is the Basher's there, and without one, it just might have been enough time for Snake to get the kill. So, Iceberg, he can appreciate that.
About that 10-minute mark, I might secure themselves a rune. No Fear still being in the area, and they do have the Fire Blast. They want to use that. The turnaround, and Ogre picking up the bounty rune in time. No Fear had it.
So he couldn't quite get the right timing there. So, Silent being so low though means that he can't really join in the mid lane with all this pressure on the Venomancer. It seems like there won't be any other Radiant heroes here though, so they're not going to push this too much further. Said it will be the top lane though, so they are still abusing the fact that they know he's low.
Yeah, good decision here for VGJ Storm, but the glyph will come out now as Uar is going to keep the pressure on towards mid. This is the irritating thing when playing against the Venomancer. You get to this stage where you just have so many wards thrown down and not a lot of heroes that can really deal with it. I mean, when you look at this lineup, it supports and kind of troll.
And now MSS is given all of this space in the bottom lane because Rezo's rotating through the jungle, so this is going to try to get the Phoenix into level 6. They already have level 6 on the Ogre in just a moment here. He's just sitting in the tree line waiting for the catapult. And after this wave, they're likely to dive here. They have some aggressive vision. They've brought up the Drow Ranger. This one is going to be secured.
And mid lane, you also see that they're going to be able to find the deny on the tower. As Resolution, they run into him. The Gust is out. They have the Global Sounds to try and save themselves with Silent running away. And Swarm is going to be used. The bug is on TPs. They've got vision, nowhere to go. And Silent finally, possibly going to be punished. He's going to see if he can buy a bash, but no such luck.
Looks like we'll be able to buy out there on the Mask of Madness. So I still loses death.
I mean, it's nice being able to get the deny on the tower from Iceberg. And, well, Always Want to Fly again found. This is level 9 Venomancer. Uar has been having himself a hell of a series so far.
Yeah, and this Veno pick is essentially going to be serving the same role that we had from our Underlord. Is just interference during the engagements, and you can see, wow, that courier is loaded here.
Heck of a lot. I mean, again, like, the itemization is the thing that I find particularly cool from the Venomancer, right? Like, how often do you see a mid laner buy an urn, but he knows that this is, like, the sustain that he needs for his team, and that ball rolling.
And SVG is way too busy in his life to afford something like that.
Dire's top.
Of course, maybe he should tell MSS, because he's got the same thing on the mind.
What happens? Well, 7-6, 12 minutes in. Brada looking for that Blink Dagger next afterwards, snaking. They're the cover of that invis. Spots out all of Winstrike in the area, and so they're going to actually think about going in here and seeing if they can find themselves one to swap away onto Iceberg, keeping him alive at the moment, but that means No Fear is in trouble. And eventually it's going to be brought down. The Stampede comes out. They also have the control, and Silent trying to chase forward. See if he can take down your wall. This will be a big kill for them. They do manage to kill him off. 400 golds into the copper of Silent, but
Snaking. He wants to go with this Drow Aura.
And there's going to be the Fire Blast out to start this one out onto Nagrada. He's just so tanky and hard to take down, though.
Such a excellent game, really, for a Silent. If you always want to fight and stay alive, he's so irritating to these heroes. Like, the Weaver or the Phoenix both heavily punished from that last word. Same thing with the Arcane Curse. You know, you're a Weaver, you can't just keep cooching over and over. And now SVG, though, he can walk on up here with that vision.
He gets the multicast and blows him up. Iceberg also to be a little bit careful here. They just got so much damage that they can throw out once that minus armor is on him.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And that whole time they're playing very aggressively up here without that Phoenix, and MSS was farming the bottom lane, rotating through the jungle. He's now up to almost level 8.
Yeah. This is a pretty farmed Phoenix. See already ahead of all the other supports in the game. The whole time, Yawar can kind of freely split push through the mid lane while they're keeping the concerted effort top lane to take down that tier 2 tower. Winstrike, in the meantime, going to look to get a trade for themselves as they pressure through the bottom. See if they can get that tier 1.
Curious to see if Iceberg actually goes for the Blink Dagger or the Shadow Blade. It's going to be a tough game if he's scouted up by any of those Veno wards, and it's also like, who are you going to be focusing down with your Blink? You want to try and go Scout Ranger, of course, but the Weaver we've seen to be an excellent answer if you can find him too. I just see it being difficult. He'll be spotted out now.
A lot of damage there as they find the global to make sure that Iceberg gets away.
It's costly though, just for a single life. And that's going to allow VGJ Storm to keep pressing forward here through enemy territory. Still another global left in the Stampede, and then one more with the Battle Trance, but...
Dire's middle tower.
No, always want to fly. I don't think they're giving up any of those for him. He can die. They're not too concerned about him.
Not quite the same priority, unfortunately, for always want to fly.
Pressure on here. I mean, it does kind of feel like they're waiting to fight around that tiny, big mobility item as he does have that Blink Dagger queued up, and maybe then you can start to make a play.
He's got a couple here. He's thinking maybe if they back away, he can get something going for his team. Still chases down, but that's just going to basically deny out this whole part of the map. Just backing them off. They've had plenty of vision throughout that top half, so VGJ Storm understand the movement that Winstrike are going for. No, there's no real pressure.
And it is only 1,000 gold lead. I mean, Winstrike is definitely remaining in this one and competitive. You can see Dota Plus thinking that they're in the slight lead on VGJ Storm. The big question mark is, what do you do with this Blink Dagger on Tiny? What do you do with the initiation that they're trying to find? A Blink Dagger also coming on that Centaur and completed.
Feels reminiscent of the Mushi game yesterday on the Necrophos, where like, the game looked really hard, but somehow he just kept performing like to the utmost that you can expect from someone on that Necrophos with constant sights, always getting the correct hero, and that's the same kind of role you're going to need out of Iceberg. And he has gone big on this hero before. It's one of his most standout heroes of all time. He loves Tiny. So I can understand why you want it in an elimination game on the TI main stage.
TP in there a little bit unlucky as they ran into the swarm, and that meant that they couldn't go for a Blink initiation. Because of that, again, they back out. Bottom tower goes down, not able to get the deny. And they are just moving towers left and right.
Winstrike, they have to find something soon. Tournament lives on the line here. And now it's Roche. This is feeling a lot like last game.
Kind of one after the other, the objectives fall, and sort of get that anxiety that gets built up in teams as they know that there's a Lumen threat coming. Roche falling now, and the pings are out as they realize this potentially could be where they're coming to. War thinking about dropping down some wards, but it's already gone. And Winstrike, they have to just stampede away. Be in some trouble, they're going to be able to back out of there. And Sentinel's still trying to get into that BKB, a ways away from it.
And these are some of the problems people lament about Troll Warlord. It feels like there's this phase in the game where you're just trying to gather items. You don't really want to fight. Maybe you can try and help your team with a battle trance or something, or show up for 1 or 2 engagements, but overall, you just want to hit green.
Scan connects. Realize that Drow Ranger is not alone. So what do you really do at this point?
At this point, it's definitely not a disaster for Winstrike. I mean, it's only a 3K lead. They're getting a little bit of split push going on here. You can see from Silent in the top lane. And you just kind of hope that this Drow Ranger lineup starts to slow down a bit. Maybe has some mistakes going high ground. Those kind of problems. They're overall relatively squishy on the cores.
Oh man. Nangrata fully surrounded around on now, and they're actually able to go on to No Fear, seeing if they can take him down. They are immediately going to blow him up. The blink away though, keeping one alive. So Centaur living for the moment, even though No Fear dies.
So it just seems like every move, VGJ Storm, they're coming out on top. Even if it's just a little pick off like that, it's all just momentum. It's never the 5-man of Winstrike. It feels like they can never sync up these ultimates, and once more, VGJ Storm are looking to punish that. Stampede will be back in about 8 seconds here, so by the time they engage anyone, they're going to have their full arsenal ready, and maybe they can try and get something going for themselves. They have a sentry.
See him.
Trying to play it cool here, but they go in.
Oh, nice play there. The Abatos finds the kill, and that's what you need, at least the beginning of it. And now the Venomous Gale is there and always want to fly. Going to try and TP away. Is it going to happen? No. Winstrike also in some trouble as they're bringing in more.
There is a buyback here with that silence if they can find a good fight.
They're thinking about it at the very least, but they have already used the Stampede. And obviously, Venomancer is so difficult to play around. If you start getting slowed, you're just going to end up dead.
Just take the fact that you did win that engagement, right? You got the kill on the Weaver, more important, brings that lead down a little, just at 3K. And what's the point of taking a fight that both of you are ready for with an Aegis there, right? You don't want to fight it. Try and let that Aegis expire, dodge away, and see if you can force VGJ Storm into an uncomfortable high ground push, because at the very least, there's no objectives for them to take very safely outside of your high ground.
That is definitely the benefit. They've been doing a good job of keeping that split push going. The uncomfortable thing, as we've mentioned time and again, is that VGJ Storm playing so aggressively have just gotten more farm out of the map, it's felt like. 12 to 8, just about 20-minute mark, coming close. Again, all it takes is one big team fight with these ultis from Winstrike to start in the ball around the other way. War so aggressively into their jungle, and Winstrike have kind of just been segmented onto one whole side of the map.
Yeah, and I think one thing to watch for will definitely be that BKB timing of Silent, if he can get to it relatively soon. Like, if they start picking him off, obviously it's going to get very difficult, but what is their answer during his BKB? There's not a whole lot. He's going to need probably a bit of help with the lockdown. If someone can try and initiate on top of Snaking, that would be a great target to try and get inside of these fights. And he has to watch out for the eggs somewhat, as his attention level is focused on it, but overall, he has pretty good freedom to just engage. There's no black hole, there's no Fiend's Grip. Nothing that's a very easy stop on the hero.
And there's just a bunch of bullies. They come in here, they push him off the blocks. It is our area.
Yeah. They have to play it like a Bat Rider, like a Storm Spirit, where it's like this global silence kind of a naval suit, you know? Where those heroes, they use the cover of that to try and get one of these big picks to start. And in that sense, they have a crazy amount of burst for Winstrike. Centaur War Runner, Tiny, Troll Warlord. They can take a hero down in an instant. It's just the question of, can they actually find it?
Yeah, and maybe you look for that Venge level 12 to get into the longer range swap. You can go for a swap global play as Iceberg is just going to TP away from Snake King. There's no way to break that one. And, you know, on the top lane, they're dealing a lot of damage to this year's Centaur. And with the Sunray as well, they're going to force out the global and also the Stampede. Now thinking about taking this fight, but nobody else is here. They're going to have to blink away. That's actually Yawar chasing in. Nangrata stuck around too long. He is going to be able to find the TP away, but they lose the silencer. He doesn't have ulti, and VGJ Storm now comfortable.
Looked like a little bit of confusion there for Winstrike. Not sure what to do. They don't want to waste those two ultimates and get nothing out of them. What if they just come high ground right after, which is what they're going to do, but rather than just using to escape and trying to hold that high ground, they unfortunately lose the silencer as well. So a slow, patient siege here from VGJ Storm with their friend Snaking still cutting waves up top.
And they're still comfortable sort of sitting on this lead for a little bit because you still do have, you know, the KB that's going to be out pretty soon for the Weaver. You don't want to pressure that much. The Aegis is about to expire right now in 5 seconds. So at least for now, they can continue to control the map. you know, and just build up into that next set of items that allows high ground that much easier.
Yeah, get that BKB on the Troll Warlord. That is what Winstrike are hoping for. Try and turn the game around using that.
Storm goes out, spots Iceberg, not going to be able to find a burst on that Weaver. Again, run away. Looking down here at Yawar, not the tastiest of targets.
Still so much pressure on Iceberg. He has to find something. He's a 1-1-1 on a Tiny.
This is the strength of Ogre too. Like you see this position 5 just walking around. You can't do anything to him. He's so hard to kill that somebody else is going to show up in time.
On the hunt here. He's going to find Rezo from mid lane.
Right, an opening possibly as they are going to be able to jump onto Yawar. He throws out the ulti as well, but blown up. Not bad. And No Fear just going to TP away. Can they get this fight though? The Yule Scepter lift up. MSS with the dive. Gets it done, and No Fear going to be punished.
Yeah, quick thinking on that one. Silence rushing forward, but he's spotted out by the Venom wards here.
Careful. Although I think that they see the Weaver in the midst, they realize that they don't need to worry about him joining in the fight as yet. Also, they don't have the Drow Ranger here, and so this is going to be a big burst onto SVG. Signs of life for Winstrike in this elimination match.
Yeah, this is what they needed. Unfortunately, they couldn't have killed Rezo, but obviously still a pretty big win for them. About a 1k gold swing hang back their way, and most importantly, gold on the Troll Warlord, who already has his BKB and is now looking to think about completing up an SNY.
I mean, again, great composure shown by Winstrike. You think about last game and how quickly things started to fall apart.
Oh, and Snake King. He was thinking about going for a play here, but wisely backs away, and he'll see that that was a good decision there with the Sentry. Oh, that's Dire Sentry. My mistake.
I was realizing that still it's need to get the heck out of there. Even more reason to get out of there. Done a good job of getting their vision around their map. Pretty well closed off inside of Winstrike. But yeah, you think about how quickly this game could have spiraled out of control if they just kept finding pickoff after pickoff for VGJ Storm. This feels very different from last game, where now Winstrike have the tools to take an engagement, if it's perfect.
Yeah, everything back up for them. A little bit split right now, but they have a smoke here for No Fear, so they de-ward. With only 3 heroes grouped up, it might have not have been super obvious they were smoking either.
Global presence, they're moving down here to see if they can run into MSS. He has a Yule Scepter, as well as dive available to him, and just out of range, MSS knew it. Backs out.
Still a pretty hard initiation there with that Yule Scepter.
Again, it feels like it's going to be a battle around this Roche pit, where right now VGJ Storm holding a dominant edge. There's a vision, but Iceberg just jumps in the global silence afterwards. They're going to go with the Stampede, running into everybody. Force Staff jumping away. Iceberg, look at the damage out on them. They blow up MSS, which means there's no Supernova in this fight. No Fear also dropping low. They get out the ulti from that Venomancer, and Silent chasing Ward in the duration of his BKB, but he's slowed down so much he can't get on top of Resolution. Snakey kills off another, and Rezo just calmly walks away. They turn, and they're going to kill Silent.
And back, we have this Weaver, absolutely massive with the Bloodlust.
Oh, right through the triple kill for Snake King. Just doing so much in that fight. With 4 dead, they're going to test them.
Yeah, that big old bug was back there. BK feed, taking them out on the back lines, and they did not respect the build here coming out from Yawar. He has the Spirit Vessel. He's so tanky. Tiny only tickled him. Gets off this massive Nova, and once that happens, the fight feels impossible. Look at that damage from the Venomancer and the Weaver.
It's absolutely insane, and it's an 8,000 gold lead now. Winstrike, they're going to hold their base. It cost them a Centaur buyback, but with that, it does sort of bring up the question of, all right, are they just going to go back and secure Roche? Like, yeah, VGJ Storm in a dominant lead right now.
At the very least, Roche isn't quite up yet. It's going to be in 50 seconds here. Here's the replay, and you can see they're just still so tanky. I mean, that's what the Global Silence is designed to help get that burst. That burst has a run.
Yeah, and again, you sort of feel like, all right, maybe you blow up this MSS hero at the beginning, it's going to look good, and then everybody hones in on Resolution. You just look at them chasing, and they don't have any extra damage.
Yeah, Snake King's just on the back lines, the mop and bucket, slowly taking them down one by one.
2:11, 26 minutes in, it's a 10,000 gold lead. Winstrike still looking for an answer. Again, all it takes is that one good fight.
Unfortunately, the one good fight just went for VGJ Storm.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
SVG found, not bad. There's going to be the pushback. Nangrata runs away.
They have an egg here.
need to be careful.
They want this.
They're buying back now on the Ogre Magi. VGJ Storm, are you feeling it as they chase forward for Nagrod? He's stunned, but he's going to get the Supernova off full scepter afterwards, and now they're in a terrible position. Silent need to run. They do drop the Supernova, and now Snake King sees always want to fly, is going to die, it looks like, and Silent, oh, the miss uphill. All right, he lives.
Oh, he's not done, though.
He's thinking about it. Don't run into those bugs. Iceberg, though, on the other side. They're just dismantling them. Winstrike needing the buybacks now more than ever. They kept their silencer alive, but they lost their cores. And now the swap back in, actually, no fear, goes down.
I think he knew he was dead anyway. He would have just got Yule's up or something, so tried to make a play.
The barracks are being assaulted. VGJ Storm looking like they might be able to take this one unless there's a magical moment from Winstrike, and it needs to start with Iceberg. They ping out UR. It is so hard to find this kill. There isn't vision in the area, but now they see him as he's revealed. They've got the ulti. They do throw out the global silence, but the damage has been done as Iceberg is going to fall. Always want to fly, also going to die. Silent trying valiantly to make this work, but it's not happening. And GG is small. VGJ Storm moving on.
A team that looks very composed. Look at this, setting down the headsets very calmly. Jack in his smooth tones, icing over this game 2 for the squad. Very cool with a secondary drought strat.
And again, Winstrike